Welcome back. It's another opportunity for residents on island to apply and undergo paid training for up to 480 hours to earn certification in bus driving, a chauffeur's license, and a commercial driver's license. And joining me now with the great career opportunity, our Employment Program Administrator, Teresa Camacho, and Guam Department of Labor spokesperson, Janela Carrera. Thank you both so much for joining us to give us an update on this wonderful program.
Sure. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
And so can you tell us, this is the third iteration of this bus driver boot camp. What has been the demand like, and what can folks expect this time around?
So for the third group, the third bus driver boot camp, it's a little different. So our first boot camp, that allowed the interested participants to gain a D license. Our second boot camp are for incumbent workers who are in working with the employer and would like to get that license, so their cohort is going on right now. Our third boot camp is open to the public, and so anybody who's interested in gaining a bus driver D license is welcome to apply. All they have to do is have a regular driver's license. So that's the unique thing about Boot Camp 3.
Yeah, there's a couple other things. Regular driver's license, of course, is the minimum requirement. You have to be able to pass a drug test, because we want to make sure that if you are hired or go through the training, right, you're clean, drug-free, and be at least 18, right, and have a clean traffic record. But yeah, those are the main minimum requirements to be part of the program.
For males also, you have to be registered with Selective Service, so that's
one
of the requirements.
Yeah. All right, and so are some bus drivers from the previous programs actually on the road right now, busing kids around?
They are.
Yes.
And so what has the reception been like? Training and on the job are, two different experiences. Are they happy with going through it and prepared and all of that?
Yes, they are happy, and we check on them because they're now employed, gainfully employed, and they're doing very well.
Yeah, actually I interviewed one of them a few weeks ago because we do want to kind of get feedback from them, and he was explaining that he wanted to be upskilled in bus driving because previously he did not have a D license. And so he was able to gain that license through the cohort, and now he's a full-fledged bus driver driving children around, school children, and he's very satisfied, and he expressed that he was thankful to the program because he would not have been able to get all that done had it not been for the bus driver boot camp.
Yeah, that's great to hear because bus drivers are the first people the students see literally right before they step onto the classroom. Janelle, I wanted to ask you about the framing of this as job training and gainful opportunities. Post-vaccine jobs. That's one of the biggest stories that we talk about. So, what is the motivation for this concerted push for bus drivers?
I think we're in that recovery mode, and I think that is part of what the administration really is pushing. So in addition to bus driving boot camp, we have other programs as well at the Department of Labor that would assist individuals not just getting employment, but also finding better paying jobs through our programs that would help to upskill them. And so, and maybe Therese can talk a little bit more about this, but, partnering with GCC, partnering with DPW, with other GovGuam agencies so that we can provide more apprenticeship programs, just like this bus driver boot camp. And then really it's just about having as many opportunities available to the community, especially after, they may have lost a job or became underemployed as a result of the pandemic. So we're in that, we're really pushing during this recovery phase to take advantage of the programs we have available, the funding that we have available, so that we could provide that to the community and they can become better skilled for better jobs.
And Teresa, did you want to touch on the multi-agency approach here? Who's at work for this program?
I know we're also working with GRTA, so they need a lot of drivers, not only in bus, for bus drivers. So we're working very closely with them. But we're also reaching out to a lot of other employers who, I think there's a shortage of just truck drivers, period. So, yeah.
And are you seeing any particular demographic that is making up most of your program, or are younger people flocking to this, or is it pretty much all walks of life that you're seeing?
I want to say all walks of life. Not much of the younger generation is availing themselves, although we want them to come to our center because we do focus on the youth because they're the most at risk. They're young, they don't know what direction they need to go into, so we're there to help them get to that point.
And I would say too that obviously in this industry we see a little bit more men coming in and applying. We want to encourage women to come out and apply as well. We do have a few women on that were part of the cohort as well as bus drivers now that had graduated from the bus driver boot camp. And I think this is a great opportunity to showcase that bus driving is not just a man's industry. This could be really for anyone, any demographic.
We've got less than a minute left, but I wanted to ask you, are there any other programs, or what's the best way for people to find out what similar programs or iterations of this program in the future?
So all they have to do is give us a call, and they can reach us at 671-475-7000 or 7001, and we will connect them to a case manager that can answer all their questions.
All right, and I wanted to ask you, what are some of the biggest questions that applicants have, or concerns maybe, if what the qualifications, just have a driver's license, so you don't have to have driven a bus before. That's the purpose of the boot camp.
Right.
Are there some initial fears or concerns, or what are some of the most frequently asked questions that you
So yes, of course they do have some fears. They've just been operating a regular vehicle. They'll have to gain that the B license, which is the chauffeur's license, and then eventually segue into the D license. So I think they may have that fear, but we have a lot of interested personnel that have expressed their interest, and we're reaching out to them and vetting them and trying to get them in. This cohort only has 25 seats, but we will vet them to make sure that we can get the most in need, the 25 individuals that are most in need that can get into this cohort.
And I'm not sure if you keep track of this, but are they coming from, what other jobs are they transitioning from? Because or are these also like first time employment opportunities?
So the one that I interviewed a couple weeks ago, he had experience. Well, he was from the private sector, so he was driving. He was also a driver, but it was the smaller vehicle, smaller trucks. So he wanted to expand and get more certifications to become a bus driver. But he had previous experience in the military side. But in the military, they don't issue D licenses. So even if he had experience driving large vehicles, it did not translate or did not transition over to the local side.
And in terms of the trainers and the staff that put this together, who are they, and who makes up the program, the instructors for it?
Usually anyone that is tied to the employer that's at the end that will hire these bus drivers, so they have an employee that can deliver the training, and so GCC does that all that coordination for us.
All right. Is there any last pitch you want to make to any potential future bus drivers out there?
Yeah, sure. I mean, we just want to remind the community. We already made the announcement, but just a gentle reminder that the application deadline is October 21st.
Correct.
And so we're actually seeing a lot of people already coming in, a lot of interested applicants, but there's still time to apply. And so again, October 21st, and you can just visit us at the GCIC building, 3rd floor at the American Job Center with Therese, or call us. The number is the 475-7000 or 7001.
All right, great. Well, we look forward to seeing those bus drivers on the street, and I'm sure a lot of kids are looking forward to meeting the friendly faces on the bus as well. So thank you both so much for joining us, and we look forward to following up after the next cycle. So thank you again for joining us, and coming up, we get all the details on how you can help with this year's Toys for Tots program.